Okay, everyone, welcome to the show. Thank you for everybody who's been supporting us. Again, this is Lex and Roy Emery. We're back for another one. So we ending week. We're going to talk about the ending of week 17, getting you ready for the NFL playoffs and some NBA talk. So I think the only game I saw really worth discussing yesterday was the Texans and the Titans. Derrick Henry's maul over of the Texans and an incredible ending. Derrick Henry, one of the 8 running backs to break the 2,000-yard mark, which actually a lot of people thought he may have not even wasn't going to make it at the start of the game. Yeah, some people really thought he was going to make it.
No, bro, you shouldn't have made it because you don't think, oh man, my headphones are like, you don't think, oh man, yeah, they need to get 200 yards. Like, if they needed 200 yards, they're not going to get it. He just like, oh yeah, he needs another 200. Then he just go ahead and gets it.
Yeah, and it was like no, they really ran it. It looked like they had no idea on how to stop him and run him over, especially when he had the 52-yard run. It was just, it's over. And you know what's crazy is that I had a feeling if it wasn't for that the Tannehill toss to AJ Brown for the game-winning field goal, I had a feeling if they went to overtime, he would have won for the NFL rushing record. He could have got the season series. At the way he was running, he could have just broke another 50 or 60-yard
I
run.
think it was in the game a couple of weeks ago where he had like a little bit of yards. Like early in the season too, he had a game. Like if he kept at this pace, it'd have been ridiculous how many touchdowns he would have had. I mean, yeah, but let's not disrespect the fact that Ryan Tannehill had 2 rushing touchdowns himself.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, like, I appreciate my man. Like I'm happy for him.
And the only reason he got those 2 rushing touchdowns were both off of fake fake runs. So it's like all eyes were on him. There was nothing they could do to stop him. So it was like, hey, I'll take advantage of this right here, take advantage of that right now. But Derrick Henry, the thing is, like, I think we spoke a couple of episodes about. We both feel that Derrick Henry, he should get some serious MVP nods, and typically 2,000 rushing yards is pretty much a guarantee for MVP for running backs. And it feels like this year he's not. At best, is if he doesn't get Offensive Player of the Year, that's going to be embarrassing. But
Who? Which one?
No, Derrick Henry. Like he kind of.
Offensive.
It feels like he's not even going to be MVP candidate. It feels he's going to be a
No,
candidate.
he can't get MVP. Can't I mean he could be in contention, but you got to also remember that he had other people on his team that was producing. AJ Brown was producing, Tannehill was producing. Like you can't discredit that. He's MVP. He could, but he should be offensive. But let's be real, the MVP is a quarterback, and if we're gonna give it to the best quarterback, then that's a whole different conversation.
Because it feels like the last two. I believe the last 2 or 3 running backs to run for 2,000 got it. Because I definitely Adrian Peterson got it. And I believe Charles Johnson may have gotten it. I have to double check
Chris
on that.
Johnson?
I mean Chris Johnson, yeah.
No, Chris Johnson ain't getting
Because
MVP.
he did. I remember when he ran. He was close too. I think he's third all time. He was either third or fourth. Like he was up there for most yards in the season. I remember that year he
People,
was going bonkers. Uh,
people get
I
like
think the only one who
people
didn't
love
get it
him
was
more. Go ahead.
Jamal Lewis. I know he didn't get it, but
Bro, they don't. It's no guarantee you're gonna get it just because you got an MVP. I mean, it's not, and he definitely didn't get it. But like that team was weird. That team was a little bit weird, and he fell off a cliff after that. I mean, he still had
yeah.
1,000, but he fell off a cliff after that season. Like Chris
Mhm.
Johnson, I think he was like of all the 2,000 yarders, like that's a legendary list.
Mhm.
He doesn't fall into that legendary category. He was good, but he wasn't at that level.
Yeah, he was just amazing. It was like what happened is he was breaking away from so many runs that year. And I think I'm not if I believe you're on the stats right now. I believe he got less carries the next season, or either had an injury. But I know he was still a pretty formidable running
Yeah,
back.
he wasn't bad. Like the next season he did 1,300, about 42 less attempts,
Mm-hmm.
and only 3 less touchdowns. So he
Mm-hmm.
was still
Yeah,
not. He was still a good fantasy quarterback, but I mean, running back.
running
But
back.
I mean, yeah, he wasn't doing that 2,000 stuff again, and everybody was like, "Oh man, 2,000." Like he wasn't doing that again.
But
That
I'll
was a
say,
weird year.
yeah. But big ups to Derrick Henry, man. If you had him on your fantasy team, I know everybody enjoyed having him.
I
So,
did, and he was good. I appreciate him.
I wanted to talk about next the Black Monday for coaches. A lot of firings. Most people know about. Most people expected the Jets and Jacksonville. I don't think. I don't believe anybody was surprised by those, but the surpriser was to me San Diego. I mean, not San Diego. The Chargers releasing Anthony Lynn. Um,
Why?
7-9 season after let's see, he had 1 7-9 season. I mean, obviously his first year, nobody really put that on him. But not too long ago, he had a 12-4 season, which a lot of people thought, hey, he's doing good. You had a good young quarterback this year. But the complaint I saw a lot of people, I just felt that with his record, you wouldn't expect him to lose his job off of a 7-9 year. And his career record, I believe, is 33-31 or 32.
33,
And
32. No, you're right.
yeah. And let's see, he has with the Chargers 9-7, 12-4, 5-11, 7-9. Okay. Obviously he rebuilt a better season than the season before that. It's just I remember when he first got his coaching, when he first started, everybody was like, "Oh, yo, he's a pretty good coach. You can see he's going to build this team up to something." When he went 12-4, everybody was like, "Oh, Anthony Lynn is legit. He's legit. You know how to coach." Then they all say, "Okay, that was a bad year for the Chargers." And then this season, a lot of people were thinking, it was a lot of injuries, rookie quarterback. He was still learning the way. But then to lose his job, and the biggest complaint everybody I saw say it was strange because I remember people saying he was such a great coach, a great evaluator not too long ago, and now people was just complaining that he can't coach, he's no good, and his time management was horrible. Um, I will say he had the game where they should have beat the Chiefs, and I believe there was a game where he blew time management on the Broncos. I was like, okay, I could question those two games, but to me, those two games, because so you would have flipped at max. At max this year, the Chargers could have been no better than 9-7. To me, I'm still not. I think honestly, the Chargers have somebody that they really want to hire, and they were willing to just part ways with them no matter what. I think even if they went 10-6, they would want to part ways with them because I think they just have somebody who they have in line. But I really didn't like the Anthony Lynn firing because I was like,
Why didn't you like it though? Let's
because
let's
I
let's,
didn't
let's pull it up there.
because I didn't think he would the Chargers were that bad for him to be worth firing. Like I was like, they weren't trash. Like they actually to me, especially with the way the season was going, they were doing actually above average. Because especially when the start of the season, nobody really thought San Diego. I mean, the Chargers were going to be much this year. And for them to fall just under 500, and just a couple of time management plays, they could have been at least at maximum 9-7, which still would have put them out of the playoff contention. But to me, I don't think he was that bad. I don't think he had that bad of a season. Like, come on, he wasn't Adam Gase bad. He wasn't. If anything, he was better than all the coaches that got fired combined. Think
Um.
about it.
Well, no, I
Think
don't
about it.
know.
Matt Patricia. I mean, uh,
They let it go of the dude from okay. Well,
Raheem, the guy from the Falcons. I think they're just going to hire somebody else. He's going.
see what so look, the five firings or six. The Falcons, you
Yeah,
got Dan Quinn, you got Detroit Lions Matt Schwartz, you got the Houston Texans dude. I mean, but he's been going for a while, but
yeah, he
whatever.
was. Yeah,
The New York Jets and the Chargers, and then you
and
got the
Jackson.
Jaguars. And you have to really assess all of their records and really understand like I I'm gonna call your BS, bro. I'm gonna call. I think that you mad that Anthony Lynn got fired because the only black guy. He's the only black coach. Be real, because I'm like I'm looking at everybody. I'm looking at everybody else's. Like everyone else had the same amount of time. Everyone else had a legitimate amount of space. So why are we mad? Why are you mad about Anthony Lynn but not mad about Dan Quinn? My man was just at a Super Bowl. His defense was bad. He should let it go. He didn't have like I
I
get what
will
you
say this. I will say this. When they let go of him, I thought the Falcons were actually playing better under
the new guy,
with
yeah.
right. I remember when he played for the Falcons too. I can't remember his name right now. But they you saw an improvement. To me, I thought that obviously I felt Gase. Gase was. I think that was pretty clear that most people believe that he was going to get gone. I was
Yeah.
not surprised over Jacksonville because obviously they did terrible. Even though I thought they were taking. I thought they were taking anyway. But you know, the Lions was a go. People have been saying they needed to get rid of dude for like 2 years ago. Um,
Nobody under no Belichick. Belichick does not do well. You know what I mean? It's just so sad. People.
this tree, yeah, his tree is not. It's crazy because the Parcells tree, which Belichick is part of, is amazing. The Bill Walsh tree is amazing. But it just when you go underneath that, those who come from underneath that, I would say those coaches, grandchildren, grand coaches, the ones that come from underneath that don't do well. I mean, Brian Flores is surprisingly, you know, he's holding his own so far, so far. Who
You know.
knows?
So
But I
you know what's
felt that.
funny? I'm.
What's
Go
up?
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No,
I was like,
it's
I
yeah.
know a lot of people's like, oh, you know, they do. Yeah, black coaches have short leashes. That's it's no lie. Most people know that. Most people know that. Two bad, two good, two above, um, 500 years and two below. What? Let's be honest. He had one bad season as a coach, like one really bad season.
Who?
Anthony Lynn, like yeah, one 5-11 season and one really trash season, and really I don't see him as really been the problem for San Diego. I think the biggest problem San Diego had was injuries. Was injuries. And I don't think as far as a coach wise, like you know, we've seen plenty of black coaches been trash. Please. Was it the old coach Hugh Jackson? I was like, man, when the Browns kept him on, I was like, okay. I was shocked because I was like, oh, I would have been fired him. And once they got fired him, look at the Browns now. So you can tell, okay, he's a problem. But I don't know. The word is that the Chargers are looking at Eric Bellamy. Who knows? I mean, but then he's the hottest head coach. He's the hottest coaching candidate out right now, in my opinion. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
if you really look at like coaching, like how long people been coaching, Adam Gase had the shortest tenure, and then Matt
Yeah.
Patricia had the shortest tenure.
Mhm.
Um, Doug Marrone makes a lot of sense because they haven't been good except for 2017. Adam Gase has been bad since he's got there. That makes sense. Bill O'Brien is the one that doesn't make sense because the season before 10-6, before that 11-5, one back season and 4-7, 4-12, 9-7, 9-7, 9-7. So it doesn't make sense for Bill O'Brien. Everybody's like, oh, he's trading all these people away. Yeah, but he's still doing double-digit wins. Bill O'Brien doesn't make any sense to me. Dan Quinn doesn't make that much sense to me.
I,
Um,
Dan Quinn got a. I think what really hurt the Falcons was the ability, the, the noise of just them losing lead games when they were leading. The noise. I really don't like how the coach, how the organization did not. I thought they didn't support him or just support him. Yeah, they will. The Falcons have injuries? Yeah. I mean, Julio Jones. I have a healthy Julio Jones. Clearly uh, hurt them. But I was just like, I thought of them all, the one that shocked me the most. Because one, you know, Dan Quinn was early in the year. Patricia was early in the year. Bill O'Brien, we spoke about. That was kind of shocking too. But I think a lot of teams don't like Bill O'Brien. It feels like
I don't understand
when he
why. I
left,
mean, I would
when he
think they
went to
liked him.
Notre Dame, I think that Notre Dame thing kind of really ruined his reputation. But everybody knew Gase, especially the game, you know, the Raiders game and all that. When it was either I don't know if Gase if Gase would have went 0-16 and he got the number one draft pick, I think more people would not have been mad about him getting fired. But when they started winning, a lot of people was like, "Oh, he got to go. He's just messing up the program." And you know, and seeing no improvement from Sam Darnold, you know, there was at one point when Todd Bowles took him as the starter. You know, everybody was like, "Oh, okay. You know, Bowles might have something here." And you know, the word was Adam Gase was going to make this kid into some super quarterback. And nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked with them. Do I put that more on the fault of the players? Yes. Because to me, the coach could just make all the plays they want, but if you're not following, you don't have the talent, you're not doing what he says, then it's all to me. That's not. I don't blame the coach on that, but I really thought Gase just really didn't have it with the Jets. So I was just shocked at Lynn, but I will expect Lynn to fall back on his feet real quick. Outside of probably I think Bellamy's probably the hottest head coach. That's probably the hot person who's going to get a head coaching job. Her, excuse me, Brian Schottenheimer is a candidate, is an open candidate right now. So we'll see, and hopefully the Giants. We'll see what's up with the Giants with their offense, with their GM. What happens with that? So, all right. Lastly, on the NFL set, so the playoffs are set. A lot of people are amped for this. Last week, the teams that we expected to make the playoffs actually did, which we thought was going to be the Colts and the Browns. No surprise on the Colts as we saw them play Jacksonville. The Browns actually came and just stomped out Pittsburgh, who they face in this first week. So that's probably the first game we'll talk about. Do you think the Browns could do it again?
Do what?
Beat
Win a game?
Pittsburgh again?
No.
Pittsburgh.
No,
Nah, yeah,
look, they should just be happy that they got there and just
yeah,
call it.
yeah. I think if they do it, it'll be shocking. I don't think they do it back to back. I don't typically back to back games when teams come from the last game of the season and play that same team on the next first week of the playoffs. That's not really a good look for them. It's rare. I believe Dallas may have been the last team to do that, to pull the back to back win like that. I don't see it. We'll see what Pittsburgh could do, but I really, from what I'm seeing, okay, we got Baltimore versus Titans. Titans are the home team. I'm expecting Titans to pull that off because I don't believe in Baltimore. Again, the Browns against Pittsburgh, I got Pittsburgh, and the Colts and Buffalo, I got Buffalo. And all I see on the AFC side, I see no upsets. The NFC side, we got Washington and Bucks. Washington's the home team, which it's kind of foul, but Bucks, I think, is going to terrorize them. LA and Seattle is it would be an upset, but I don't believe golf. I think golf's health is going to be a problem, so I think Seattle wins that. And the Bears, people try to say the Bears have a chance for the Saints. I don't think so. I think even if Hill was starting that game, I would give for the Saints or Hurt Breeze. Um, I don't see no upsets coming into the NFL playoffs. Any? Do you see any?
No.
No, I think it's pretty cut and clear. So I think it's pretty cut and dry for next week. Um, and as always, the Bucks and the Chiefs and Green Bay get the bye. I like the Super Weekend that we're going to have in football. More games. Game is going to be on Nickelodeon. We'll see how that works. I want to see what Kel Mitchell or one of these Nickelodeon people going to be running the game.
Bro,
That's
I
going to be
swear
interesting.
when I saw like somebody sent me a link, it was like the NFL is gonna be on Nickelodeon. And I was like, I thought it was funny because it's like, oh, it's gonna be like somebody from the NFC East and it's like they're trash and it's so fake or so comedy that it's gonna be on Nickelodeon. I swear I saw that. I was like, oh, that's funny. That's a funny joke. Then I was like, oh snap, this is
It's
real.
real.
That doesn't make any sense why it's on Nickelodeon. Any sense at all. I
I don't.
I'm,
I don't. I could understand. Typically you're always trying to go for the next generation of fans, but I mean, I guess because my kids are, still just up below Nickelodeon, they're still, but above Teen Nick. I'm not seeing, young kids watching football. I see the NFL. I guess they still try to reach that young demographic where they were so fearful of losing. If anything, this is it. But to me, at least put on NFL Network. To me, or get NBC, ABC, something. I'm like Nickelodeon. ESPN, some other channel, but Nickelodeon, this is going to be, I see a lot of people joking about they're going to slime people who mess up or something. But I was like, is Keenan and Kel going to pop out or somewhere? It's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be a crazy matchup. But everybody enjoy the weekend with the game. So we're gonna quickly move on to the NBA. Um, Steph Curry exploded. These past couple of days, we've heard about Steph Curry's name being talked about people coming back at him. That especially Dame Lillard talk about because the previous game where the Warriors lost to the Trailblazers, that he wasn't getting those looks that he was used to seeing. Now that he got no help, people questioning, he can't carry a team, and then he just said everybody and let everybody know the chef is back. I'm gonna roast you all. He was cooking 62 points, and 31 shots, I believe 18 for 30, 18 for 31, 18 free throws, 8 3-pointers in Steph fashion. It's kind of crazy because you would expect with the way Steph shoots, he should have more games that he scored this amount. You know, this is only his second time over scoring over 50, which many people remember the game versus the Knicks. But this one he actually won. It was that second and that fourth quarter, he just roasted them. Dame was trying. It kind of felt bad because Dame scored like 30 something, and it felt like, yeah, it's not happening for you, Dame. You're not going to win this.
You know what's funny? I saw that. I was like, the team's still trash. That's all I kept was thinking. I was like, oh, word, that's cool. But it's like, my man can't do that every night. And he shouldn't do that every night.
Yeah.
It's it was cute. I thought that wow, it's a lot of points.
Mhm.
But like, I'm never impressed when a player scores a lot of points. It's nice when you win, but I'm never impressed because it's like, bro, you did so much for your team to win by just 15 that you gonna be tired and no one
Yeah.
else. Like you create. I hate when players score a lot because you create like that whole team is so young and they're all enamored by stuff. So like you're create. I mean, if I was a coach, I'm not gonna say yo y'all shouldn't get buckets, you shouldn't get a high scoring game, but it's like do not perpetuate the stare and watch or let's all create for them. And that's what's going to continue to happen because no one else can create for themselves. No one else can shoot like him. And I'm like, all right, that was
Yeah,
cool.
it
You
felt
had it just
bad.
that. You got your career high, but nah.
It felt. I mean, obviously, like I play. If somebody's cooking, you give them a ball. And I would say this: Draymond made sure Steph was picked well and got as many free shots as he could, and there was lanes for him to cut through. And I saw, but still, Wiggins got to improve on his jumper. Aubrey Jr., I think I do not trust him with a jumper. He belongs in the 90s. His game, he needs a jumper so badly.
He's like a more young Iguodala but Iguodala
Iguodala developed the jumper.
he learned to shoot. Yeah, he's got to
Yeah,
learn to shoot.
badly.
I,
Like his jumper is horrible, man.
bro,
He
it's
don't
funny you
hit
say that.
nothing.
It's funny you say that. So I was playing ball
Mhm.
and like I never had a shot. I literally had to force myself to remember this is how you shoot every single shot. Cause I play ball, I get a ball. If I get a ball, people will just like, all right, whatever, let me shoot. Which is one of the most hurtful things you can say to somebody on a basketball court. Like, let them
You're
shoot.
open
Like,
for a reason.
yo, all that stuff will hurt your heart. Anyway, so then I start making them. It's like, okay, I gotta every time I gotta shoot this way. I gotta have my arm over here. Or you really, what feels really well, just going off the cuff, what feels really good is I've learned to freeze my defender because they don't know if I can shoot apparently. So now I'm coming in. I have a mid-range game. Don't care. That 3-pointer is just whatever. I could do it, but give me that mid-range. And so it's just I think maybe I don't want to say that he's not trying, but I don't know. The NBA, especially when young, is a whole different sort of confidence thing. Is like he may not practice it enough, or think he needs to do it, or he wants to do his thing versus do what they need him to do. That was a bad signing. I don't know why they. I think they would have been fine with who they had. I don't know why they needed to get him. They went in luxury tax for him too. They probably going to trade him.
Yeah, I didn't think that was part.
Wiggins is
When
doing all right. Like
yeah,
whatever. Wiggins is whatever. They
and
should
if
have.
he got him out the way, if they got, because I mean they got Steph's brother-in-law, which could have been the two, which could have been the two guards, and it would have been Steph Lee, Wiggins, Wiseman, and Draymond, which to me would have not been. To me, I trust Lee more shooting than Oubre. I mean, it's just Oubre looks the part. Like he could attack, he could drive, he could dunk. He everything close, he'll get his. But all you gotta do again, he's gonna be that player. You leave him open for a reason. And teams in that game versus Portland, anytime he had a jumper, they was like, yeah, everybody go for the board. Everybody go for the board. Kansas go for the board. Um, uh, they was just like, yeah, leave him open. But Steph was making up for all that. Will Steph have another game like this? He's going to have to. He's going to have to. He's going to have to keep. He's going to have to get back to 30 points a game on 50% shooting to keep the Warriors in playoff contention. Can he do it if he's shooting from 30 feet like he was last night? Which we actually were used to Steph doing that. We're used to saying, "Hey, Steph can shoot from 40." We're used to him shooting 40 from off the dribble. typically a game like that where you have to shoot 30 a night, it runs you, it'll run you out. But Steph, I think can handle it. I think can handle it. We'll see. I mean, it was good to see Draymond. People cloud Draymond for having that 1 point game, having that 1 point. But I'll tell you this: Steph does not have the points he got if it wasn't for Draymond being there. If it was for Draymond plays his part extremely well, and he knows what to do. That's better than having Oubre chucking everything up and breaking. And Wiseman, and I gotta give Wiseman was doing his numbers too. He's a solid rookie. I'll give him props for that. He's getting his rebounds.
Somebody must have told him when he got. Well, somebody must have told him like, look, man, you're our savior. We need you to be the good guy. And he's just like, yeah, I'm the man. Like he must have he's coming off of that. And it was weird when he was playing in when he was in Phoenix. I guess it was doing pretty good. I don't know why, because Phoenix wasn't built just on jumpers. He was doing all right in Phoenix.
Yeah, because you know what? I don't think he shot as much. He didn't shot as many threes. He attacked a lot. It pretty much when it came to jumpers, they pretty much, was Book and everybody else. But he was the slasher, cutter, dunker, fit in that role. But with the Warriors, because the Warriors offense is so set on outside jumpers, we'll see when Clay comes back next year, if Clay is back to Clay. But it's going to be a long haul for the Warriors. They might do better than a lot of people thought at the start of the season, because at the start of the season, people was like, "Oh, the Warriors going to be back," and then it was like, maybe not. Now, right now they're 500. They could dance around 500, but it will take a lot of effort. It's going to take a couple more 50-point games from Steph to keep the Warriors in contention this year. So, all right, everybody, we're going to keep the show short this week. Everybody get ready for this weekend's playoffs, because I think we're going to really talk much heavier when the playoffs actually get started in the NFL. So get ready for that. Next week is going to be fun, and get ready to see what Brady does. What Brady does with a new season, with the playoffs with the new team. I'm really hoping for that. See what Alex Smith. Even though I know the Patriots are going to, the Washington's going to get blown out, but I'm hoping they put up a good game. That's what I'm saying. And
listen, man, he's playing football again, and his leg didn't fall off or break in half. That's all that matters.
Oh, here's one thing I forgot to bring up. I wanted it was a side. Do you think this is something I want to throw out? Do you think it'll be a good point if a team like what happened with Washington, since Washington pretty much took Arizona's playoff spot? Do you think it should be, if you're in a situation like this, that team should have a play-in game? Like Arizona should have faced Washington for that final spot before the playoffs actually.
Nah, sucks for them. Nah, they shouldn't have a bad record. I don't feel bad for them.
I think they should at least play off, because they or if you're Washington, you have to give up your division crown to another team.
Nope, nah, they deserve it. Let them get it. Let them get it. Like 7-9 is a respectable record. Leia's not the best.
It cost Anthony Lynn his job.
But 7-9, 7-9 versus 8-8. I mean, it's like one different. Like I ain't mad. They deserved it. They deserved it. I'm happy. I'm happy for. I'd be even happier if they kept Dwayne Haskins and he learned from it. But let's see what happens next year with him and where he goes.
Yeah, where he goes. Hopefully somebody picks him up. All right, everybody. So enjoy your week, everybody. Enjoy the games, and we'll catch you next week. Peace. Oh, and everybody, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and all the merchandise and links are in this description. Take care.